Stradbally, County Laois, they celebrate an age of iron and steam now long gone. The Goliaths of steam power, with their gleaming brass and blazing boilers, were put on display. And you're very welcome to another edition of the programme. Today we're coming to you from Stradbally in the County Laois, the capital of steam in this country. And here, every year for the past 41 years, they've been celebrating the glories of the age of steam in their steam rally. Here you'll find every imaginable kind of steam engine. Engines to build your roads and roll them, saw timber, crush stone, harvest your crops. But in its 41 years, it's grown and expanded. So now they also have things like vintage cars and motorcycles and all the country pursuits you'd expect to find at a country fair. Now, they're very beautiful and elegant ladies, but they're very high maintenance ladies, and of course that could present a problem. Not, however, to enthusiast Ted Hines, who knows all about it. Ted, you're actually professional in this business.
Yes, I work as a boiler inspector for one of our large insurance companies in the country here. And my hobby is also working at steam engines and restoring steam engines.
And how difficult are these to look after?
They're quite difficult nowadays. In years ago, when they were all over the country, there were many workshops that specialised in repairing and maintaining these machines. But nowadays, you have to go to a specialist repairer to get work done on them. You can do small things yourself, but large items like new boiler parts or gears or reboring cylinders have to be done by specialists.
So if a bit breaks, you can still get the part, or would you actually have to make it?
You'd have to manufacture the part nowadays. Yeah. Parts are no longer available for these.
And what is the appeal?
Part of it is the fact that you can make the power yourself. You put water in the boiler, you put coal in the fire, and it will, when the fire burns, it will produce steam, and you can control the steam very readily then with the controls on the engine.
And can one go on repairing these things, or does a day finally come when you have to say that's
no, you can keep repairing them. The technology is somewhat basic and simple, if a little difficult to actually get people to repair them, but they can be repaired and kept going ad infinitum.
Now, the whole steam shindig is held in the very impressive grounds of Stradbally Hall, Stradbally estate that is, which has been home to the Cosby family for absolute generations. The current head of the family is Adrian Cosby, who joins us now. Adrian, how did the Cosbys come to be here?
Well, my ancestor was the military governor of Laois and was in charge of the Laois plantation, and he was looking for somewhere to live, and the Abbey at Stradbally had been offered to the O'Moores, and who bribely accepted the crown, and he got murdered by his illegitimate half-brother, and that meant it was empty, and my ancestor was looking for somewhere to live, and that was how we came to Stradbally.
And the present house then?
Well, the first house was the Abbey, and then when that was sacked, they built a small house down by the river, and then extended that in the 18th century, and then pulled that down and built this house in around about 1772, and this was then extended in 1868.
With what in mind?
Well, my great-grandfather, I think, hoped that the Prince of Wales would stay, and the house had to be big enough for him, but unfortunately he didn't stay. He went off to Granston, and where the shooting was better.
And from that start, how has the estate fared over the course of history?
When I started farming, we started off with about 150 sheep, I think, and then the rates came along, and that was the end of the 150 sheep. So there was quite a struggle, really, and we were extremely lucky that we had a few paintings that had value, and we were able to get out of trouble that way. It didn't please the art world very much, but we did survive, you see, which I reckoned was the important part of it.
The steam, a man who has spent a good slice of his life glorying in the age of steam, is Joe Kavanagh of Bard. Joe, this is your proud possession, yeah?
Michael, yeah, it's one of my prized possessions, but it's certainly my prized steam engine.
And what is it exactly?
It's a 1932 Showman's steam engine. It was among 4 engines built at the very last of the steam era. So it's a relatively young engine, although it's 1934. It's one of 3 remaining, and it's quite unique in that regard.
Now, what was its role in life, its job?
Its function, it's what's known as a Showman's steam engine, and its function was to haul fairground rides from town to town. And then when the rides were set up on site, it provided the electricity to drive the electric motors that ran the rides.
All right.
Again, this was an era before cinema and so on.
So it would pull lots of caravans on the road?
It would pull typically wagons laden with the fairground equipment, perhaps as much as 85 tons. And if you put that into perspective, a modern lorry might pull, say, 20, 25 tons. This is capable of pulling.
So it's really a train on the roadway?
You could call it that, a road train, and oftentimes the Showman's entourage was described as a road train, exactly.
And this is very much a family sort of hobby. Everybody's involved.
Absolutely. Mostly by coercion. I guess I'm the enthusiast and the rest are related.
But your lady wife is polishing away there.
My wife polishes away. She's a dab hand with a brasso.
But you make, in every sense, a rally of it. You're all here with your caravans and you stay on site and so on.
Yeah. Well, it's very, very necessary. There's good reasons for that, Michael. It is a live working piece of equipment, and unlike a modern vehicle where you can turn the key off at night time, when we shut this lady down at night time, she can still be started up, and almost sometimes by herself if the right conditions prevail. So you've got to be close to your engine. You're running at 200 pounds per square inch pressure in the boiler. So if anything untoward were to happen, the outcome could be catastrophic.
And over its 40 years, the steam rally has been making a huge contribution to tourism in the area, and indeed to the economy of Stradbally itself. Now, the man who runs the rally committee, an august and venerable body, is Dick Dunn. Dick, how did it all start out?
Well, it began in 1965 in that Stradbally is a very high density of tillage area, and a lot of farmers would have had steam engines for thrashing, etc. But with the combine and the tractor coming into being, the steam engine became extinct almost, and they were lying in haggards and ditches, etc., rusting away and being bought up by Hammond Lane in Dublin, the foundry in Dublin.
Being broken up?
Yeah. So a few enthusiasts back in 1965 decided they would steam up their engine, and about 5 engines were steamed up on the 27th of December, and they were amazed at the amount of people that stopped to look at them, etc. And so much so that the following August 1965, the first real steam rally was held, and I think Stradbally was eaten out and drank out in about 24 hours. There was about 20,000 people arrived to the rally, and from that time it has grown and grown from strength to strength.
So big business success.
Big business success, yeah.
And there's a serious purpose behind it all, preservation of these machines.
Well, the preservation of things past, and to educate the people of the future in the way agricultural machinery worked in the past. And the Irish Steam Preservation Society has a kind of 3 strands to its bow based here in Stradbally. We have the big one, which is this weekend, is the steam rally itself, and then there is a narrow gauge railway which runs every bank holiday weekend, including this weekend as well. And our third string to our bow is our steam museum, which we have just revamped to the tune of about 200,000 and ready to open hopefully in about a month to 6 weeks.
And the fellows don't have it all their own way here at the rally. There are lady pilots as well, so to speak, and they vie amongst themselves for the title Queen of Steam. And the reigning champion as the rally started out this year was young Laura Jose from Carlow. Laura, how did you get into this at all?
I started at a young age because my dad was involved with the steam engines a lot over the years. He has a borrowed trash and steam engine in 1912, and then he went and got a Ford and steam wagon in 1930 as well, and he's a few vintage tractors. So
One associates it more with older people. What was the attraction for you?
just coming and getting a spin on the engines and meeting everyone.
Now, when you get into competition, what's the object? What do you have to do?
There's a lad on 2 engines, and you just have to, a girl on each engine, and you have to drive in and out of the barrels, and if you knock the barrel, you're disqualified. But you have to try and get back up to the top quick without knocking a barrel to get through.
Maybe give us a demo of your skills, will you? Surely the doyen of the steam world here in Ireland has to be Ozzy Bennett, forever associated with the steam rally here. Now, Ozzy, when I say you're associated with Stradbally, but you're not a Laoisman at all.
No, I'm Corkman. They call me the King of Steam.
Exactly. And how did you get into this business then?
Well, we had 2 steam engines at home and stone quarries, crushing stones and all that, and that was a long time. As a young fella, I grew up with the steam.
What is it about these engines that appeals to you so much?
Well, the smell of the smoke and the bit there's something in them that you don't get from anything else. You know, you like to be black, the hand is black, and you like to be part of the engine itself. Do you understand me? I don't know. There's something about it. There's something about them to bring a crowd anywhere. Anyway, you'll have a steam rally thing, and I have an awful lot done for charity with steam rallies.
And you're committed to saving these engines for future generations?
Oh, definitely future thing. Always save it. Do anything you can do for it. That means I had a man walk into the yard and he offered me 1 million for that engine.
Good Lord, $1 million?
1 million of money. He said that I want an engine better than did my brother-in-law have. And he said, I'm after going through all the books, he said, in England. And he said, that is the only engine, he says. That engine made the great film, The Age of Steam. And she's a 6 horsepower barrel, he says. And I will give you at 1 million if you'll sell the engine.
And you weren't tempted?
No. My wife said no. Betty said no. She said, no, that engine will stay there. And that engine will always be there. Ozzy Bennett's name will always be there. My wife died 3 years ago. And I got put up on our headstone, a steam engine, cut into the headstone. You know what I mean? It is in our blood. The sons are at it there, both of them there. And now that we have the grandson at it again.
And Rosen Ellis. And the car is
with steam in their role on the farm, especially at harvest time. And working behind me here is a thrashing mill owned by Bill Deegan. Bill, I suppose this would have been the leading edge technology of its time, would it?
Oh yes, since the beginning of the last century, it was a leading technology.
And what's going on behind us here?
We're thrashing corn here, a trailer load of corn here, as you can see, barley. It's pitched from the trailer up onto the machine, the mill, and you see, there's one man there pitching, another man cutting the twine, and another man, what's known as feeding it into the drum. And when it goes into the drum, it's separated. The grain is separated from the straw. The straw comes out here where you see it at the baler. Yes. The grain goes back at the back down into sacks. And the chaff comes down in the middle.
It looks like pretty hard work, so why do you do it?
I like it. I was born and reared into it, and I like it. As a lot of the people at the steam working in that, they were all reared up into it. And it's in the blood, you can't get out of the blood. That's the whole lot of it.
These were the lumbering, powerful workhorses.
Naturally, the wire coming from the generator, which drives the keyboard. These are the books of music.
And they do indeed look like great big volumes.
They are, yeah. And these, the keys, this is all your different keys, or 80 keys. and little springs come up. This goes through your keyboard, which is like a miniature computer, and it opens and closes all the air lines, which you have bellows in there. It's pumping air all the time.
Well, they may have a serious purpose in mind, preserving the glorious age of steam for future generations, but they knock great fun out of it too. And we've enjoyed being here at the rally as well. That ends the programme for this evening. Do join us again on Sunday next, 6:30. Until then, from the capital of steam, Stradbally, from all of us in the Nationwide team, a very good evening to you.